Jnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshul Militandena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravajantam Anupeta Apeta Krityam Dvapayano Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tan Maitaya Taravo Binedus Tam Savabhutam Hridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshay Kiptascha Kamari Tarangamadye Kripa Maitam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanara Vindam Tavevasmi Najivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayanam Charanandike Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhuvyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, in the beginning of this auspicious gathering, worldwide gathering, meant to glorify, reveal the glories of Sri Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Asto Tarasat Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj through the lips of his innumerable followers, dedicated followers. We first offer our most humble obeisance unto the lotus feet of our beloved gurus, unto Sri Guru Pada Padmaniti Leela Bhavishta, Om Vishnupada Stotra Sat Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and Sri Guru Pada Padmaniti Leela Bhavishta, Om Vishnupada Stotra Sat Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and unto our exalted Rupanuga Guru Varga, and to all the assembled devotees worldwide, all over the world, John. So, I was thinking about this, and I remember being in the presence of Srila Gurudeva time to time on different occasions, either when he was glorifying his own Gurudev on the Vyas Puja day of his own Guru, or other times hearing from him on his own day as well. And it's important to understand the conception of Vyasa Puja. We're going to be hearing over the next 55 hours all kinds of glorification, and I suspect all kinds of personal lila that Srila Gurudev exhibited and which devotees have recorded in their hearts, and which they remember and which they are inspired by. So I thought that I would begin by doing what Srila Gurudeva would often do at this time, which would be to explain what is Vyasa Puja. And in order to do that, I just looked up his own articles and his own statements about this. And the safest and the best way to glorify, to honor one's guru, is to repeat his words, his teachings as they are, as he himself presented them to us. Let me just ask real quickly, how is the sound? Is the sound okay?
You're amazing, Maharaj. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, because that's just from the phone. All right. So I'm looking at a number of articles, and I'm going to look down from them and reveal Gurudev's major points. The first thing he says, he wants to explain who is Vedavyas. Right? Where do we get this name, Vyasa Puja? And Gurudev would say that he is that very same personality, the incarnation of the Lord, who was responsible for delineating, for giving the glories of the name, the forms, the qualities, and pastimes of Sri Bhagavan Krishna throughout the world. Right? And this ceremony that we are observing to honor our Guru the Acharya who sits on the throne in service of Bhagavan. Srila Prabhupada used to call him the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. He is on the very throne of service, Gurudeva would say. And he preaches the glories of the Lord in order to attract people towards him, to revive their dormant and natural condition of love for God. To glorify that personality is called Vyasa Puja. And it's also called Guru Puja. And Srila Gurudev wanted to bring up that previously in India, that on the day of Vyasa Puja, Veda Vyasa's own appearance day, then this was how everyone would honor Guru Puja. They would honor their own gurus on that day. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada introduced the idea that we should worship our own gurus on the day of their appearance. I'm hearing something in the background. What is that?
Sorry, Maharaj, someone just unmuted themselves by accident. Please do continue.
Oh, okay. I thought I was doing something wrong here. So, all right. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada established this worship on the day of our Guru's own specific appearance. And then Srila Gurudeva gives a very important verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's instructions to Uddhava, which our Srila Prabhupada quoted many, many times as well. Very important. Acharya mam vajaniyam navamaneta karachit namartya buddha sujeta sarva deva mayo guru. That Krishna is saying to Uddhava that you should know that the Acharya, the spiritual preceptor, he is my very self. One should never disrespect him under any circumstance, never commit any offense, never criticize, never envy him, never think of him as an ordinary man, for he is the embodiment of all the demigods. And then Srila Gurudev would give some very interesting thing to consider. Among all the demigods, who are the topmost? Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And Guru, he says, he's the embodiment of Lord Brahma. How? Lord Brahma creates the world, right? Sri Guru creates bhakti by sowing the seeds of bhakti in the hearts of his disciples. He gives us, he plants that seed of devotion. Brahmande Brahmita Kon Bhagavana Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lakabij. That after wandering throughout innumerable species up and down throughout the universe, when one becomes extraordinarily fortunate, one has the opportunity to meet a genuine guru who will plant the seed of devotion. What does that mean? Because if bhakti is innate in the heart of the living entity, what is he actually planting? Well, he's it's been described that he's planting the initiative and desire, awakening the desire to perform bhakti in the heart, because we're all covered. We're covered by the three modes of material nature. We're covered by the collective accumulation of sins and the reaction in the form of our body, our mind, all of the karma that we have to experience in this world, all that makes us forget our relationship with the Lord and become self-centered and only concerned with our own meager conception of happiness through the body and the mind and the intelligence and false ego. So Sri Guru awakens that. What is that he awakens? He awakens the idea that Jivera Swarupaya Krishnara Nityadas, that we are all eternal servants of Krishna, of the Supreme Lord. So Lord Brahma, he creates, Sri Guru creates in the heart of the devotee that desire to perform bhakti. Vishnu, he's the maintainer of the universe. Gurudev, he maintains our bhakti. And this is very important to understand, that unless and until we reach this stage of prema, we need that constant reinforcement and association of our guru, that we don't become again enmeshed and attracted to serving in the material world. And Sri Guru, he is always looking over. Gurudeva would say, I am closer to you than the air you breathe. And this is really important to understand, especially after so many years, you could say 10 years of separation, physical separation from Sri Guru. We have to be very convinced of the fact that there's no limitation on Sri Guru to connect with us. We may be blinded by imperfect senses, by the inability to have internal spiritual vision, but Sri Guru has no such limitation. And he is always with us. Gurudev says in this one quotation, remarkable quotation, he says, as conditioned souls, we can't even imagine how much endeavor our Guru makes even for one disciple. We're thinking that his endeavor, his connection with us is dependent. Perhaps we have to be with him in his association at the time we meet him, when we go to some festival or something like that. But Guru is always there. When this initial prayer that we chant, Tam Pravajantam Anupeta Apeta Kritam, this prayer, the Shukadev Goswami, he's like the super soul. He's in the heart of all living beings. And so he is capable of enlightening and blessing all of us. Sri Guru is a representation. He's the current representative of Shukadev Goswami. All gurus, pure gurus, qualified gurus, they're always with us. And they're always endeavoring. And this is something that very important. That's why we say these prayers every morning, these beautiful Guruvastakam prayers, to meditate on the eternal activities of Sri Guru, both internally in the spiritual world, but also with us in this world. These prayers of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur contain both. So then, as Mahesh, or as Lord Shiva is the destroyer. Sri Guru destroy. He destroys our anarthas, the obstacles that impede our development to bhakti. How does he do this? He does it by beautiful instruction, beautiful kata, sometimes personal instruction, sometimes personal chastisement. There are two sides of our relationship with Sri Guru. Sometimes he's praising us, patting us on the head. Oh, you're such a good person. Oh, you were here, so glad to see you. And many of us may have remembrances of that. But if we're fortunate, he may have also chastised us and told us so. This is, you're doing wrong. You should be like this, do like this, don't be like this, don't be like that. Because bhakti in the sadhana stage has two sides. It has the navritti mulaka and the pravritti mulaka. That means pravritti means things we should do like this, do like that, wake up early, take bath, chant prayers to your guru, chant prayers to Radha and Krishna, to Mahaprabhu, chant your rounds nicely, offer all your prasadam to the Lord, and don't do these other things. Don't take intoxication, don't have illicit sex, right? Don't offend devotees, especially that. Don't gamble. The four principles, but most importantly, don't criticize. Gurudev would always say, don't criticize, don't criticize. Be concerned about your own bhakti, your own development, and don't meditate on the so-called faults of others. This is a dangerous thing. And it will absorb your mind in that critical mentality. It will attract those same qualities, those same things that you're identifying will come into your heart. and obscure your own bhakti. So, so Sri Guru, he's a representation of all the demigods. He has all the qualities. He's actually greater than all. Because not only is he a representation of the demigods, he is the representation of Sri Krishna himself, Srimati Radhika, Nityananda Prabhu, all of our gurus. Gurudev says that sometimes Krishna himself descends into the world to give instruction, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkatam dharma sangstarpanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So Krishna will come to perform these functions, to teach us, to remove impediments, to delight the devotees, to remove the obstacles created by demons, to teach religious principles. But this is rare, right? And Krishna himself, of course, coming only once in a day of Brahma, or in different incarnations once per millennium. But Sri Guru, he's always descending. He's always there. One time when I was first becoming acquainted with Srila Gurudeva, it was I went to Parikram in Vrindavan in 1997, and we had the opportunity to be with him. He was going to Durvas Tila. Now there's a beautiful temple there in Mathura, overlooking the Jamuna from a hill, the Jamuna River, and then the Mathura town. And at that time, it was just being constructed. And a bunch of us went over in a car to see Srila Gurudeva there. It was very hard to get a car back in those days. Nowadays, everybody has cars, but back then, it was very rare to find and be able to get a car. So anyway, we went. And Srila Gurudeva was sitting on one of those beds, all-purpose beds. They use them as a bed, and then sometimes just to sit on, like a couch with no back. But he was sitting on one and observing the construction. And then he called me over like this. Not like this. And then sit down next to him, which I was embarrassed to do. But this is another side of Gurudev, that he wanted to teach us something special about serving Sri Guru. That in the stage of sadhana, we're learning to become purified. We're following very strictly rules and regulations. And we do that out of fear, out of guilt, out of faith in the conclusions of the scripture. But Gurudev wanted us to enter also into another plane of relationship with him and with our entire Guru Varga, which he used to call Vishrambena Guru Seva, a mood of deep intimacy and friendship, where one has so much love for Guru. He already has that love for us, but he wanted to awaken that kind of love in our hearts, that whatever was his desire, his monobhishta, his internal purpose, what he felt and how he wanted to serve his Guru, that we out of love would imbibe and embrace those same moods and same feelings, to the extent that it would be like non-different from our own mood and our own feeling. And he used the word tadatmik. We would be joined with him in mind and body and spirit, and intimacy and friendship. And so he said, sit down. I sat down, a little embarrassed, but happy. So, right? And he's talking and he's pointing across the river, and he said, oh, this is where Maharaja Ambarish's palace was. And over there, this is where Satyavati met Parashara Muni, right? That's the same place where, Vedavyasa himself was born. And went on. And at that time, I was trying to come to the point where I could really accept Srila Gurudeva as my Shiksha Guru. And I was a little afraid to do this. I had been afraid because I was wondering about, oh, would I be giving up my relationship with Srila Prabhupada or compromising it in some way? But Srila Trivikram Raj helped me to understand, no, that's not the case. That's a different story. That's a different story. So I could understand, and I was ready for this, but I had a doubt. Because previously, after Srila Prabhupada had left, the society that he had established, it became somewhat chaotic. And my own life was disturbed a great deal. I know that a lot of suffering. And I thought, I'm trying to come to Srila Gurudeva, and I'm considering now preparing myself to offer myself in the same way that I did to Srila Prabhupada. Right now, I'm 47 years old when I met him. What if I become a full-fledged devotee now or in a few years? And then in a few years, Srila Gurudeva leaves, and then I'm old and I've given up everything again, and now I've got nothing and I'm thrown into the street. What will I do? Where will I take shelter? What will happen to me then? Maybe I should just keep working, and then at least then I'll have a nice retirement package and I can practice somehow or other because I have money. I was thinking that money was what I could use to serve my guru. But so I said, but my real question was, and I asked him this, and I said, Srila Gurudev, and this is the first time I used the word for him, Gurudev. What happens to us when you leave this world? I was kind of afraid to ask that question, but I did. So he turned to me and he said, there are always pure devotees on the planet. Always. Because if there weren't, the planet would burn to ashes because of the constant accumulation of sin that we see. So you'll always be sheltered and protected. And that gave me great satisfaction and confidence. But then also, over the years, more and more, I began to realize that not just somebody who's physically before us, but as we advance and develop our faith and devotion, then we will be able to feel through our seva, through our increased faith, that our guru is always with us. So Srila Gurudev helped me to understand that I always have a connection with Srila Prabhupada, and he deepened and strengthened that connection, and that I will always have a connection with him, and he deepened and strengthened that, and that we can also awaken a connection through them with the entire beautiful Guru Varga, Guru Parampara, whom they also represent. And this day, this Vyasa Puja, is to reflect deeply on the conception of Guru, on the gifts that Guru has given us, but even more deeply, how can we awaken that Vishrambhena Guru Seva? How can we come towards that, where we feel such love, such affection, such spontaneous happiness in being with and serving our Guru, that it's not just one day, it's not just once in 100 years, it's every day, every hour, every moment. We feel connected and inspired to be with our Guru. So I had many other things I was planning to say, but you know how these things go. You start talking, all of a sudden you're inspired to speak in another way entirely. Anyway, time is up for me. The next person is going to talk. So I have to go back to regular. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. That was such a beautiful offering. Thank you. Dandavat.
Dandavats to all of you. Gaur Premanande Haribol. All glories to Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Parampara.
Maharaj, also one last thing before you go. We will have you on for one of our Sunday programs as well. So we will be contacting you very, very soon with regards to that, so that you can share your glories furthermore about Gurudev.
Alrighty.
Amazing. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
Dr. Rohini. Oh, good old I miss him too. I miss him. His nice kids, beautiful wife, great family. All right. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Dandavad.
Dhanyavad.